You know, for a bunch of numbers, money sure is an emotional thing. Looking at your bank account or debt balance can stir up feelings of inadequacy, confusion, frustration, guilt, anxiety, you name it. I mean, it took me about 4 months out of college to get up the courage to even look at my student loans. I was so terrified. And since I didn't know what my finances actually looked like, my imagination ran wild. My money was this massive, hideous anxiety monster that followed me absolutely everywhere, and I felt like it would turn me to stone if I so much as peeked at it. I wanted nothing more than to eliminate that debt, but you can't slay a monster that you're constantly running from. So this is it. If you haven't yet, this is your time to face your debt monster. This step is pretty simple, but if you're like me, it could be the hardest part of the entire process. You need to list out every single one of your debts. Get them all in front of you, all at once, so you can see where you really stand. As daunting as this step can be, it's also the first step to getting some control over your debt situation. Think about it. If I asked you to go on a hiking trip, you'd want to know some things, right? How long is it? What's the terrain? What's the Wi-Fi password for this mountain? You'd want to know those details so you could make the best plan you could for completing that journey. That's what listing your debts is. It's getting the information you need to make an effective plan for your debt paydown journey. And you might just find that actually drawing up that plan gives you the first feelings of financial relief that you've had in a long time. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not telling you this is easy. What I am telling you is that it's worth it. If I have to take a long, grueling hike, I would rather have a map and a route, and probably some bug spray. Wouldn't you? So like I said, before you start mapping your route out of debt, you need to make a list of all your known debts. Don't worry about getting the balances right now, just list out every creditor you can think of. And I really do mean every debt you can think of. Maybe you're wanting to just knock out a couple debts right now, not the whole thing. That's fine. But in the interest of seeing the big picture, I would encourage you to gather all your debts. Now, if you're someone with a little more life experience, you may have some debts that you don't even know about. If that's the case, it's time to go Sherlock on your finances. Visit some websites, check your credit report, call some department stores or banks, or talk with family members to get the information you need. Once you've got all your debts listed, now it's time to find the current balance on each and write that down. Don't smush debts together when you do this. If you have 8 student loans, don't add all your balances together and call it student loans. List each loan separately with its individual balance. You'll see why later. You can write down the interest rates too if you want, but it's not super necessary. By the end of this, you should have a list of all your debts and their respective balances, like a receipt out of your own personal horror movie. Now, here comes the worst part. Add up those numbers to find out the total amount you owe. Okay, how are we feeling? Maybe you're like, it's not as bad as I thought. Or maybe you're like, either way, you just stared your debt monster in its stupid, beady little eyes. And guess what? You didn't turn to stone. That's awesome. You're awesome. Now, let's start slaying this debt because you just proved you've got the guts to pull this thing off. Brave debt warrior, it's time for you to choose your weapon.